Hey folks, what do I do when Kay won't agree to do a movie? Or won't agree to do a review because it's past her bedtime? I got Movie Cat! Hey Kenzie. So this movie is Heather's. Yeah, it's more of an action drama than a horror film, but it's horror adjacent. It could easily have been. I could have easily reviewed it in October. It's certainly gorier than Vampire on Bikini Beach. Anyway, this movie Heathers. Like I said in the tease for the previous episode, the reason why I picked this one is because Media Mementos did a review of either Drawn Together season 3 or the Drawn Together movie, I can't remember which one, and said Princess Clara was a Heather's reject. I could see that. Anyway, I'd never seen Heather's. I've seen Winona Ryder and stuff. I saw uh, her episode rerun of SNL. She was in some oh God, I can't remember the name of that movie. The Crucibles, I think. Was it The Crucibles? Oh well, it was some movie about like women potentially being witches, and it was like during the Salem witch trials. Not now, Kenzie. Hold on, I'll feed you afterwards. I promise. Don't worry, people. He's already gotten fed. He's just still camera shy. You need to learn better. So anyway, um, and I've seen some other things of her in it. I saw that Friends episode, obviously. Um, so anyway, in this one, she starts off as kind of like an indie hipster chick, trying, and you think that she's gonna be the kind of hero or like the audience avatar because they're using her head as a bullseye in a croquet game with three other girls that are named Heather, one of them being Shannon Doherty. Do you want me to? Do you want to sit down? Hmm? Okay, last time you see him. It's okay. It's okay. Here. Sheesh. Sorry, people. It's a little warm. So anyway, in November. Okay, do you want to come down? Okay. So anyway, she's trying to get in with the cool girl gang, and she's pretty much getting hazed. Pretty much, she is able to duplicate penmanship, so they use that to like play a prank on on a on a beautiful woman. I'll say that. That I think is a little that I think is too much for her, so she wants to get out. Then, well, at the same time, she has like hipster parents that are like, "Yeah, do whatever you want here. Eat pate. Don't smoke. I don't. Why do I smoke? Because you're an idiot. Oh yeah, That's repeated twice. The conversations, though, that same conversation is repeated. The movie is long enough. They could have actually cut out her parents. I will give her credit. This is a better version of Beauty Queen Butcher, I guess. It's gorier. It's gorier, kind of. Um. So anyway, at a party, it. I think it's implied she's drinking water, but then it turns out what she's drinking. When you put a cigarette in it, it catches on fire. Um. She says she doesn't feel good. Um, and she was treating this guy kind of. She was really kind of being like standoffish from this guy, and really, this guy maybe she was just one of those girls that only liked bad boys or something, because all he was doing was asking her, like, what do you plan to major in college? Like, just asking just asking good questions like that. It wasn't until later that he became kind of, hey, I'm a celebrity, and I'm a celebrity, we can do this, let's bang. So, um, she throws up on the main Heather's, uh, not her shoes, but like on the floor. So that's when she's like, okay, I've had it with you. So then there's this guy that she likes who's Christian Slater. Um, yeah, I only know like three names in this movie. I'm sorry, people. No offense, no offense, other people in the movie. So, what happens afterwards is that they kind of, the main chick, but they throw in, but they like forge her, they like forge a suicide note. That's probably gonna get me demonetized. I wasn't monetized anyway. Okay, so they kill her, um, and then they, what happens? So when Winona Ryder's character writes this beautiful letter and uses a word correctly, people suddenly realize that the first that Heather had like dignity and charm and class and was brilliant and was a tortured soul when she was probably just a one-dimensional jerk. Um, then after that, then she double dates with another Heather, and ladies, I'm gonna describe your perfect date. They go cow tipping, and some manure gets on their faces and outfits. I know, I know. You ladies are ready to make out, huh? What, I'm just going by this movie. So anyway, when a guy doesn't get lucky because, when a woman, after a woman has seen a guy cow tip or tip a cow and then have manure on him, or manure on her, all of a sudden she's not in the mood. Oh, what a prima donna, huh? He then spreads a rumor that she was significantly more promiscuous than she was. So then Christian Slater says, I've got these like hollow bullets, although they're essentially tranquilizers. So then it was decided, and I'm surprised at you, 1988. You're usually so appropriate and respectful when it comes to gay jokes. Some of them didn't even make sense. Like, you want to know a sign that a guy is gay? Here's how you can tell: when they have a box of chocolates. I don't know. Oh, you want to know how else you can tell that they're gay? They buy mineral water. Okay. I didn't know that was I don't know how that's a stereotype, but according to Christian Slater, this is Ohio. I'm gonna stay out of politics. This is Ohio. I'm recording this in October. This is in Ohio. If you're not drinking a beer, you might as well wear a dress. They do use the F word a couple of times, and I'm talking about the gay one. But then there's kind of like something. Oh, those two, the two that did get shot were I don't know if I don't know if they were homophobic or if it was just the time. I'm kind of assuming it was more the time, but still, I'm gonna also assume that they're homophobic, which again would also be the time, where they say like where they have someone in a chokehold and say you like to make out with dudes, and because there's no security outside a funeral home, school maybe, but a funeral home, come on, people. Uh, okay, I'm assuming this movie. Oh, whatever. I've seen Cruel Intentions. Okay, whatever. So anyway, um, again, they look at the letter that's implied to. It's kind of made to look like a suicide pact or something. To both of them shooting each other. I guess you'd have to be really on the trigger, otherwise that would be very tough to do. Um, but there is kind of a good spot where the father of one of them says, "My son was gay, but I still love him," or something like that. So it's like, okay, that's that's wholesome, I guess. Anyway, it's at that point that Winona Ryder finds out that Christian Slater and his dad are are kind of like a father and son version of Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, where they've taken delight in blowing up buildings with people in them. In fact, that's how his father became widowed, because she went into the building shortly before shortly before her husband blew it up. He then shoots a radio, and that's when Winona Ryder finally realizes this dude needs to be put into a psych ward or something. So she breaks up with him. Then he goes for another Heather, essentially just using that as like bait to try to like get her back, pretty much. So anyway, um, things go from bad to worse now, where heavy, the beautiful woman, sorry people, the beautiful woman, um, attempts to walks into traffic. She gets run over, but she survives. Okay, she's okay. Well, how do I put this in a way that won't get me in trouble? She has like a neck brace on, and she's in a wheelchair, but she's alive. Okay, I God, that sounds worse. How I tried to cover it up. Anyway, she lives. Okay. So it's at that point that Winona Ryder's life kind of goes downhill. She gets a lot more emo. She gets a lot more like angsty, teen angst. The movie this is. Um. Then after that, uh, the guy, it's not Johnson Dean or something. Jones Jones Dean. I can't. His initials are JD, which it's like something Dean or something. Whatever. Anyway, he goes to the parents of Winona Ryder, who I don't know. I guess they're rich or something, because they have a croquet thing and they have statues and roses everywhere. Um, and they eat pate all the time. That she might be suicidal, and she's like, I'm not suicidal. She sees a note that says recognize the handwriting. So then she just essentially, with her coat on, just like crawls into bed and just like sleeps. At that point, JD comes through, and he's talking about how he's gonna kill that Heather girl, make it look like a suicide. She said, I'm not forging any more letters. And it's like, doesn't matter. See, life sucks. See, it's simplicity. This is essentially if you made a prequel to Joker and you crossed it with Mean Girls. That's essentially what this movie is. um so during that, then there's a weird wedding thing where it looks like, if there was a wedding, if there or not a wedding, I'm sorry, a funeral. If there was a funeral in that movie America 3000, this is probably what they would make it look like. It's a very weird wedding, and then it turns out to be a dream. So she's like, I'm gonna get him back. So while the mother was saying like, "Honey, dinner," and apparently they were gonna have spaghetti, um, she she fake hangs herself. At which point JD says like, "Well, you're gonna miss out because tomorrow I'm gonna blow up the entire school and everyone in it." Then here's the part that kind of, for me, is a little unrealistic, where the mother looks, sees her daughter, hanged, and isn't like, ah! But is instead like, oh no, that's so terrible. What has happened? My daughter. Why did you do that? She's not really dead. Um, Honestly, she probably should have called the police or something. There probably would have been tons of bomb residue. Or I was thinking she was just gonna like confess all of the crimes or whatever and say that he also was there. Um, let's see what else. So he plants bombs in the pep rally area, in the gymnasium pretty much. And that suddenly made me think of an episode of So Weird, where there was a crash in the gymnasium during a pep rally as well. So I'm kind of thinking if that's a reference. Hmm. Or maybe just a coincidence, I don't know. So anyway, then they go into the boiler room. The second movie this year I've seen involving a boiler room. I'm pretty sure that's a record. I'm pretty sure that's a record. It's like a few years ago where I saw Beauty Queen Butcher and Destroyer, and both of them involved strangling someone with a beauty pageant sash, and I was like, who knew that was a trend? So anyway, um, she prevents the bombing. Um, then he wearing a suicide wearing a suicide bomb blows up. And okay, I know that for most bombs you should be at least 25 feet away to be out of like to be out of like bomb range, because I saw that on one of my videos that I posted. But she's bleeding, she's pretty scarred. She has a cigarette that's being lit. She had a weird she I don't know if it was implied that she was suicidal, but she did a few things that might imply that she was. Like, she tried to burn herself twice, which, for anyone watching this, don't do that. Please, don't do that. Be kind to each other, okay? Just be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, be kind mentally, everything. So, she then essentially like walks through school kind of like a zombie pretty much. Only one person realizes that she has like it looks like she got recognizes that she has like dirt, that she has like bomb residue on her, that her hair is all messed up, that she's smoking a cigarette, that there's like smoke coming out of her hair. It's like only one person notices that. And it was, well, his now ex. So you could tell who was like the head queen, or the queen. I'll steal from Mean Girls, the queen bee of the school, because there was like a red like a red bow tie thing. Winona Ryder takes it off her, puts it on, and says, "There's a new sheriff in town." Then I guess it's her. I guess there's now that the killer is gone and she saved an entire school. Um, she then goes up to the woman in the wheelchair and says, "Hey, I've got an idea. Instead of prom, how about you and me just watch a movie? How about you and me just sit on the couch and watch movies?" She was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, I'll do that. I'd like that very much." And she's like, "Yeah, cool." Then she like walks off, and I don't know if there was more stuff after the credits, but that's when this copy ended. If Kay was here, she would just say, "Here, eat some crow with a side of crow." Because I've always criticized her for picking like dark dramas and stuff. Like she picked what was that one that she picked? She picked that Brie Larson one that was in a mental institution, I think, where I made the joke like it's Mumblecore's adaptation of Sucker Punch for the DCEU. And so yeah, so she's picked a lot of artsy dramas, and well, this is my turn to pick one. It's the second one this year after the Brotherhood of Justice. And well, I guess this could be a tie-in for Beetlejuice. My thoughts for the movie, it's a pretty dark movie. It does play it a little lighthearted, I guess, or it could have been much darker. I'm sure it could have been much darker. Um I don't I don't know how I would have done this movie, but if I were to do it, I guess I would have just been like kind of have her be like a Robin Hood kind of, or hmm, or like maybe like a just essentially one of those the where the anti-heroes, I'll say, they kind of like go after bullies. That might have been how I would have done it, maybe. I don't know. Um do I regret watching it? No. Am I ever gonna own it? No. Well, I don't know, unless Kate. One second. Kate, do you want this movie on 4K? Blu ray? DVD? Once was enough? Okay, confirmed. We're not adding it to the collection, and I won't add it to the collection. So there it is. It's. I'm kind of glad I didn't do a lot of jokes because this is a serious movie to talk about. It's a serious issue. It's a dark subject matter that happens too much in the world and should really stop. Uh, Join us next time when Kay's gonna pick something because I'll let you in on a little secret. Originally, Kay was supposed to pick the movie this week, but I said like, "Can I? Do you have an idea, or can I pick Heather's?" And she was like, "Go pick Heather's." I'm like, "Okay." So you're about to get about 2 or 3 weeks in a row of K picks. Okay, so thanks. Have a good time. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Don't kill yourself. Bye.